If you think you have to have a picture-perfect aesthetic to fulfill your dream of becoming a content creator, I am definitely the person who will be honest and say, no, you don't. And let me just say before we get into this tip, you may feel called to the carpet with this one. Some of the things I'll mention in this video may cause you to shift in your seat or roll your eyes, but hear me out first. I'm telling you things your faithful Instagram story watchers, close friends, family, and the followers that always see your posts but never like anything may not have mentioned to you. Welcome back to 30 Days of Content Tips, where I give you videos that are short, sweet, and to the point on how to create content that grows your following while building community and attracting brands. I've been able to grow my own community to now over 87,000 followers across 3 different social media platforms. Yesterday, we went over tip 3. Post different styles to different platforms and nurture each community differently. Today's tip is all about content quality. And of course, I have analytics of my own to show you examples of some of the things I'll mention in this video. First things first, you will need an iPhone. I don't care whose phone had what feature first or how a picture looks on the phone you take it on. When it comes to uploading on the main social media platforms, iPhones deliver the best quality frames per second. This is why you can always tell when you see their pictures and watch their videos who has an iPhone and who maybe has an Android. And if you want people to watch content you shoot from your phone, the data shows that an overwhelming amount of users prefer iPhone quality content. If you think your audience may feel differently about it because they'll be the ones you want to interact with your content, take a poll on your stories and go with whatever you come up with. The frame rate affects the style and viewing experience of a video. And when you use a filter, the efficacy of the frame rate decreases because the computer function of the camera takes more work to process images. Using the Face app or any kind of face filter or anything that distorts any part of your face or changes the original colors of a video the way it's actually recorded on the camera app should not be how you consistently present content. And do not think your audience or brands can't tell. They can. So you will need to alter how you record and upload content if you want to give it a fighting chance to be well received. Professional pictures tend to look more realistic through editing because you edit the entire photo or video. So something like a more smooth skin tone doesn't look so obvious. So invest in a good camera, even if it's just an iPhone. And if you have to edit your picture, use an app or program like Adobe to edit the entire video or entire picture and not just your face. When I do decide to use a face filter on my stories, I let my audience dictate if a story post makes it to my main page based on how many people like the story. This is an easy, authentic way to feel out your audience on what they deem as good quality. And I mainly use this for selfies and make it the cover of a carousel post, but I never filter my videos. A face filter on a selfie or a quick clip on a carousel post or a single photo is one thing, but it is not the same as a filter on an entire piece of video content unless you're creating a cinematic style video. Did you know good lighting is one of the best ways to increase your picture and video quality? It's the best way to cancel out shadows and balance out the natural colors your camera picks up. So invest in good lighting, especially for close-up shots and for front-facing videos where you're front and center, making eye contact with your audience, or when you're showcasing something like food or a product. And we'll talk more about equipment in tip 17. Now, everyone has a different way they connect with their audience, and I can appreciate that. But a picture-perfect aesthetic is not the end-all be-all when it comes to curating your homepage or portfolio of work. Sure, you may have beautiful cover photos, but if the content itself isn't good, aesthetics don't automatically drive people to want to follow you. My audience appreciates that I show up as myself, regardless of what it looks like day to day. This is more a matter of comfortability, so do what works best for you in that regard. But I put in such effort to be sure my quality is good and the content is good. So if I show up on camera on a day where my hair isn't perfect or my outfit is laid back, my audience does not mind and they'll still respond well to the content. In fact, some of my most well-received and viral moments have been of me without the glitz and glam, and they became the videos that got me noticed by brands for a partnership or collaboration. And here's some examples. This right here is now in my arsenal.
I just woke up from one of the most restful nights of sleep that I have had in months.
The before and after of my eyes is actually wild and crazy to look at. But I got this product from Target, and the only reason I bought it, let's be honest, we've all had a legion in our lives at some point. Somebody's son comes around and makes all these promises about who he is and what he wants, and it all seems too good to be true. Spoiler alert. Now, when it comes to longer form content like a vlog, this is where you can play around with different features like transitions. Transitions are visual effects that alter connecting clips. Creators can even use music along with the transition to move between scenes. For example, a vlog that starts in your home while you get ready to go to Target is the first scene or clip, while the second clip is you walking into Target and down the aisle to what you're shopping for. A transition will go in between those clips to visually merge the scenes together. And what I've learned since starting my own YouTube vlogs just a few months ago is people tend not to be as interested in long form content to creators that haven't first built a community with any short form content, because that could be what moves their audience to YouTube to watch the longer form content. This is likely because your audience hasn't gotten to know you well enough to take enough interest in watching a long vlog of, say, lifestyle content. Long form content is also much more tedious to edit. Shorter form content, in my opinion, is a great place to start and then segue into longer videos. Once you craft your skill of editing through shorter videos, it can become much easier to know what your audience wants to see in longer videos, and can also make the editing process more of a repetition. I mentioned in tip 2, take off the creator voice and use your own, that one of my favorite types of content is doing a voiceover over a well-edited video. Editing is one of the ways I make sure to produce a quality video, and it's more than just fusing multiple clips together. Take your time and trim parts throughout the clip that include dead air, repeated movements, ums and ahs. It's been said that a rule of thumb is to grab your audience's attention within the first 3 to 5 seconds of a video. Otherwise, they may scroll away. So remember, get to the point. If you have a title at the top of your video that indicates the video is about an experience at a Mexican restaurant, but you use the first 30 seconds to fumble over how you really wanted to go to an Italian restaurant, but as you were driving down the street, there was a sign for a new Mexican restaurant, and you didn't even know one was being built close to your house, and you're not sure if you have time to drive to the Mexican restaurant because you had to be to work by 5:30, so you only had 45 minutes to get there and eat. You've not only lost the plot, you've also lost your audience. Get to the point. Editing is another skill that will take time to develop as you grow as a creator, so be consistent so you can perfect that skill. As for voiceovers, have a plan. Know what you want to say, even if you have to write it down. Just like you should edit out dead air from a video, edit out the same in your voiceover. And if you do read from a script, include some distinction in your voice so it seems more natural and not like you're reading a book report in front of the class. If you're talking about something exciting, it should sound like it. If you're explaining something unsettling, let your audience hear it in your voice. All of these small details matter when it comes to content quality, and the process will require some endurance because it can be time consuming, but the final result will be worthwhile in growing your following and building community. This wraps up tip 4 on content quality. Don't forget to subscribe before you go so you're the first to know when tip 5 drops tomorrow. Attract your audience to multiple platforms. My social media pages are in the description box below, so you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Fanbase, so be sure to stay connected to all my content. See y'all tomorrow.